football, we have highlights of the spring football game.
And we'll talk to Tad Boyle on his potential new recruits coming to town.
And former CU football player Nate Solder becomes one of the best buffs of all time.
CU Sports Max starts right now. Hello, everyone. Welcome to CU Sports Mac. I'm Jacob Eliashar, sitting alongside Ron Knappenbauer. And Ron, we have a great show for you this week, right, Ron?
That's right, Jacob. It was the last few days of spring football, all culminating in the 2011 spring football game at Folsom Field. Let's take a look at those highlights right now. It was the first spring football game for John Embry. There's Ralphie. She looks like she's in fall shape. Second drive of the game, quarterback Tyler Hansen. He finds Rodney Stewart with a nice screen pass. Speedy finished the day with 55 rushing yards and 31 receiving yards. However, Jacob, it was another rough day for the kicking gang. Justin Castor, he went 6 for 10 on kicks, including missing this 42-yarder right here. But you know what? The offense looked pretty good at the end of the half. Hansen, he drops back and throws a fadeaway pass to Kyle Slavin for the 36-yard touchdown strike. The offense is looking good. Head coach John Embry right here, he's looking on. I wonder if he's pleased with his offense. Final drive before the half for the Buffs offense. Hansen, he finds Paul Richardson and juggling the ball, he brings it in the end zone. Good way to end the first half.
And look, speaking of half, look, there's Nate Solder talking to Super Bowl winning kicker Mason Crosby. I wonder if Mason's giving Nate any NFL advice. Anyway, on to the game. Hansen tosses the ball over to Keegan Canty, who finishes up the spring game with 2 catches. Can he do it? Oh yes, Canty can. Now let's look at new quarterback on the block. Number 8, Nick Hirschman, who throws to Kyle Slavin, and Slavin makes it. He runs and makes a touchdown to set his second for the game. And now let's look for another new quarterback. Here comes new quarterback Brett Burnett, who throws the ball to Slavin, and again, touchdown, Slavin. He makes his third time for the third time this game, and here's some celebration for you guys. What a great game for the offense and defense. But overall, the offense wins this spring game. Let's look at the stats.
Coach Embry, he's made clear the demands on.
You have some stories for you guys. See, you had football coach.
We apologize for the technical difficulties. We're all having technical difficulties here today.
We are.
Let's get to some sporting news, beginning with Tyler Hansen.
Right, that's right, Ron. CU head football coach John Embry announced that on Thursday that Tyler Hansen will be starting quarterback for the 2011 football season. 3-year letterman was named the team's Joe Romig Award winner as a top senior following the spring practice. Embry says that Hansen had command of everything that he needed to be as a quarterback and developed into a team leader. Hansen was named the starting quarterback prior to the beginning of last season, but his run was cut short due to a ruptured spleen against Texas Tech.
Former offensive tackle Nate Solder was in attendance for the spring game, but not just as an alumni, but as an honoree. Solder's name and jersey number were placed on the west side facade at Folsom Field alongside many other great buffs. He was a 2-time unanimous All Big 12 selection, and he was the conference's lineman of the year in 2010. The future first-round pick played nearly every offensive down between his sophomore and senior seasons and only gave up 5 sacks over the course of those 3 years. He's only the 25th football player to receive this honor, and his name now rests next to the likes of Rashawn Salam, Eric Bieniemy, and Alfred Williams.
Now, Britney Spears' first album is complete, and now starting on her second. She's drafted in the second round, 19th overall by the Phoenix Mercury in the WNBA draft Saturday. Spears started all 127 games of her career and is CU's all-time leading scorer with nearly 2,200 points. She is only the fourth buff ever to be selected in the draft, and the first since Mandy Nightingale in 2002. She will join former UConn standout Diana Taurasi on Mercury, who finished second in the Western Conference this year.
Former Buff and Bronco Alfred Williams was inducted into the Colorado Sports Hall of Fame this past week. He led the Buffs to their only national title and to the Broncos to their back-to-back Super Bowl victories in the late 90s. It's been a good couple months for Williams, as he was also inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame last fall. Williams joined 6 others in the 2011 Colorado Sports Hall of Fame class. It also includes former Rocky Larry Walker, former Bronco Jason Elam, and the late Rockies executive Kelly McGregor.
Now, coming up after the break, CU Triathlon team is closing in on prestigious marks set in by the ski team.
And do you think you could hang with the best mascot in college football? Stay tuned.
Hey, Bobo, where's your video game? In here. Well, look at this. Uh-oh. It's my dad's. You want to hold it? What'll I do?
If you get my new comic activity book, More Adventures with Scruff, you'll find out what you can do about bullies and guns. And you'll see lots of games.
Cool.
For your free copy of my new comic activity book, just write Scruff McGruff, Chicago, Illinois, 60652, and help take a bite out of crime.
I want it. I want it.
When there's no place after school for kids to be.
Nothing to do but hanging on city streets.
When mom and dad are working to make ends meet. Now it's time to beat the street.
With after-school programs, city kids aren't left alone and vulnerable. They keep on learning between 3 and 6, but these programs need your support. Join with the Urban League to keep them going. Call now, because it's
Time to beat the street.
Yeah, how dope was that party last night, man? Yeah, no. Wait, I can't really. You're breaking up. Off service. Yeah, no, and then he shoved me, and I was like, that's not cool. And so I just rocked him, and it was tight.
It was a total dime piece, man. Took her back to my place, had a few drinks, you know what I mean.
And after all of that, she told me she had a kid, and I'm not trying to be any part of that right there. You know what I mean? It was a crazy.
Welcome back. We now sit into the double team set where our own Josh Rising and Matt Hanlon break down the spring football game.
Take it away, guys.
Welcome to this week's edition of Double Team. I'm Matt Hanlon alongside Josh Rising. We're going to talk a little bit about the spring game this past weekend. Now, Josh, we look at different facets of the game. What, after the spring game, John Embry's first spring game, stuck out to you?
The running game stuck out to me big time. There was every running back, the 3 starting running backs so far. You got Tony Jones, you've got Josh Ford, and you also have Ronnie Stewart. They all contributed in this game. The one play that actually stood out for me, though, out of all of them was Josh Ford. 17 carries for 164 yards and a touchdown. I feel like this kid can bust a long run anytime he touches the ball. And I feel like, you also have an experienced running back in Rodney Stewart. This is going to be a position that's going to be well taken care of from here on out for quite some time. I really think that they've got some good stability and leadership at that position. But what about you? Do you think actually stood out for you?
Well, Embry always, he talks about running the ball. They want to, be physical. That was, something that I looked at the game. But another thing, passing. Tyler Hansen was 8 for 15 with 124 yards on the day. That stuck out to me was Nick Hirschman, 11 for 19, $170 on the day. That was impressive to see a guy that doesn't really get in the limelight. Tyler Hansen's always the one talked about. He's the go-to guy. He's the senior. He's the main focus of the offense. But when I was watching Tyler Hansen, he was handing off the ball. They didn't really establish him in the pocket trying to throw. But I'm very excited to see where they go with Hirschman. Going down the line, he's going to be the backup. That's always solid. Just in case, Tyler Hansen has some mistakes and you can bring that guy in. But I really, Tyler Hansen's the focal point of the offense. He's the senior. He's going to be coming back. He actually got landed the starting job. You know, this past Tuesday, Embry announced it. What do you think about that compared to Hawkins? In the past, has always flip-flopped and never really knew what he was going to do at the quarterback position. Now, Tyler Hansen is the senior in the leadership role. Do you think that's going to add some stability to this offense going forward?
Oh, absolutely. I think that now that they know who their starting quarterback is, unlike in the past where they would wait until the last week to decide who their quarterback was, the only reason why they did that was to try and throw off their first opponent of the season, and it was always Colorado State. But for Colorado to know who their starting quarterback is now, it's a great thing because now that Tyler Hansen knows that he's going to be the starting quarterback, he doesn't have to have that added pressure on him to try and go out and win the job in the fall. He knows that he's going to be the quarterback. He can focus on this offense. It's going to be a West Coast style offense. It's going to be an offense that requires the quarterback to really know where he's going to be going with the ball. So him being able to have the time to work on knowing the playbook is going to be helpful. And now that he knows that he's going to be the starting quarterback.
Yeah, and that's, what you talk about. He's going to be the starting quarterback. Last year, you saw a lot of him running around, rushing, and getting outside the pocket and using his feet and his legs to really extend the play and get the offense, running down that way. But it's going to be a transition for him to be in the pro-style offense, kind of in the pocket. And that's nice that Embry is going ahead and giving him the starting job now so that he can really get the confidence going ahead in the offseason and really establish that. But, you look at the offensive side. But one thing that people don't really take away from a spring game, which I was looking at, was the defensive side. Josh, with the defense, coming back, losing some starting quarterbacks that were really solid, what stuck out to you for the defense on the defensive side after the spring game?
The one thing that stuck out to me was the fact that the defense didn't play as well as they could have. They gave up 44 points in this game. Now you're going to be going in the Pac-12, which is going to be a pass-happy offense or conference. And so for Colorado, they got to know that they're going to be able to get a pass rush from their defense. And when that happens, they got to know that their cornerbacks are going to be able to come out and establish an identity out there to be able to stop the passing game at any time.
Yeah, the key injuries are key to that, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Matt Halen, me, Josh Rising. Let's go ahead and send it back to the desk.
Thank you, guys. The CU football team announced that 5 players will not be returning with the Buffs next fall. Junior Forrest West and freshman Henley Griffin and Harold Mobley were all told that the spring game will be their last as a Buff. John Embry made it clear that players who do not buy into the system and perform academically will not stay with the team. Also, the team doctor has deemed offensive guard Max Tuli Mariner and receiver Will Jefferson are medically ineligible. Sorry about that. Both players will rehab with the team in preparation for the following year.
Two of the most polarizing coaches in CU history turned to the sidelines, kinda though. Bill McCartney and Gary Barnett were head coaches for the opposing teams in the flag football game before the spring game on Saturday. They coached former Buffs like Joe Cloud and Hugh Charles in a friendly matchup. The competitive fire was still there for some players as they did not disappoint, producing an exciting game on the field. Most alumni stuck around after the game to take in the future of the program they once represented. The CU Club Triathlon team claimed its second consecutive national title at the USTA National Championship in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. CU graduate students Rudy Kalser won the men's title due to a time penalty on the bike by the first-place finisher. Despite 2 Colorado's top males also receiving time penalties, the men's team still finished with 48 points ahead of runner-up West Point. The women's team, led by junior Jessica Broderick, came in third behind the U.S. Naval Academy and West Point. The men's and women's combined sex score was good enough to earn them their 12th national championship in the triathlon.
Now, CU mascot Ralphie leads the team onto every field for every home game during the football season. To be selected, one of the selected few to run alongside Ralphie is a privilege that students have to try out for. Rose Heafy has more.
On game day, fans come to see the players. But before the kickoff, all eyes are on a different group of Division I athletes charging down the field.
It's absolutely incredible to be in front of 50,000 fans in Folsom Field or at Invesco. I mean, everything kind of disappears.
Every year, a select group is chosen to run the famed Buffalo around Folsom Field. And last week, hopefuls had the chance to try out.
It just sounds like the coolest thing ever.
To become a Ralphie handler, hopefuls needed to fill out an application and showcase their speed in a series of sprints. The top candidates would then be interviewed.
First and foremost, we look for athleticism. They got to be fast and be able to keep up with the Buffalo. Second of all, we like to look for people who are personable and, have good social skills because we do a lot of interaction with fans and media.
However, being a Ralphie handler isn't all fun and games.
Typically, during the season, so we have 2 6 a.m. workouts every week, typically Tuesday, Thursday, and then we run her either 2 or 3 times a week, either at the Prentup field, the soccer field, or in Folsom. And then typically we go clean her pen, make sure her water gets cleaned out, fresh hay, all that stuff, about once a week. And then obviously game day, you get up at 6 and get home at 7.
For hopefuls, the tryout is a shot at the honor of representing the school.
I think it'd be an amazing honor. I think that if you look at it, there's been less Ralphie runners than there have been football players that have come through here. And so to get to run out behind the #1 mascot in the nation would be pretty cool.
Rose Heafy, CU Sports Mag.
Britney Spears was selected with the 19th pick in the second round of the 2011 WNBA draft, which brings us to this week's trivia question. Who was the last CU women's basketball player to be drafted to the WNBA? We'll have the answer for you later in the show.
So what do we have coming up later on?
Well, the men's basketball team will be losing 5 seniors this year, and head coach Tad Boyle tells us how he plans to fill those holes.
I'm starving. What's for breakfast?
Guten Tag!
Johannes, Franz!
I bring you arts-enriched Raisinblams, fortified with increased test scores and creative problem-solving skills.
It's good!
And good for you. Bobby? Susie? Don't worry, that's just the power of the arts!
Feed your kids the arts. For 10 simple ways to learn how, visit AmericansForTheArts.org.
No, what'd she say?
She said whatever.
No, she says that all the time.
What's that?
Hello? I'm on the phone.
Mom, I'm on the phone!
Hello? I'm on the phone.
Who's this? It's me. I'm on the phone. Mom.
Oh, you're on the phone. All right.
Sorry!
Sorry. Anyway.
Who are you talking to? Kelly?
Mom.
All right.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who would love to put up with you.
Hey, I'm Jeremy Bloom, former CU student, football player, Olympian, and world champion. But most importantly, I'm a forever Buff, which means I'm part of 240,000 students and alums created by the CU Boulder Alumni Association. The University of Colorado will always be something I'm very proud to be a part of. The years that I spent going to school and playing football provided me with some of the best memories of my life. So come join me in creating lifelong CU relationships and explore the Forever Buff program.
Don't be mean. Clean your machine.
Hello and welcome back to CU Sports Mag. We're now joined by Derek Kessinger. And Derek, the men's basketball team, they just signed a big recruit this week. What can you tell us about that?
Well, they did on Thursday, and this was their 4th recruit of this season, and his name is Jeremy Adams. He's 6'5", and he's a shooting guard. He's really athletic, which is really good for the Buffs because they're going to need that down the road. He went to Navarro Junior College in Texas, and he also played for Texas A&M, but he transferred. But we have Mike Rohn, who's an assistant coach, who actually knows this guy because he was an assistant coach there when they were both there.
Who else can you maybe talk about on this men's basketball recruiting class? There's some big names here for CU.
There are, and they got 3 guys overall in this recruiting class besides for this. They got 3 in November. They're all from the Los Angeles area. We have Spencer Dinwiddie, who's a guard. He's athletic. He's powerful. He needs to work on his shooting a little bit, but he should come across pretty well. We have Askia Brook, who's a guard. He's a combo guard. He can play either side. He's fast. He's athletic, and he's agile, so we should see a lot of fun there. He needs to work on maybe knowing where he is on the court a little bit more. And then we also have Damian Kane, who's a power forward and may actually get one of those starting jobs there in his first season because he's so good and may challenge Dufault for that. So,
with all these new recruits now, how are these new players going to gel with these old players for next season?
Well, that's a good question because obviously the Buffs lost their 4 guards that they have, or potentially lost their 4 guards because Higgins, Relfor, and obviously Levi Knutson, can't forget him. They all left, and then Alec Burks might also leave. So they need new guards, and 4 of the 5 players that they have will now be guards because they also have Carlin Brown from Utah, and they have a DU transfer, Sabino Chin, who's really good. Both of those guys should help. And then we have the Alec Burks question. And this whole season is going to center around whether Alec Burks comes back, and he's going to announce by Wednesday. So it could be a happy April 20th here. And in the future, we really have to see if this new recruiting facility or the new training facility is going to work out for us. So
Even though basketball season just ended, it's still an exciting time all year long here at CU. Right?
Can't wait for it.
Can't wait for it. Thanks, Derek.
Thank you.
Now, men's head basketball coach Tad Boyle had announced the signing of shooting guard Jeremy Adams this past week. Adams was originally signed with Texas A&M out of high school, but transferred over to Navajo Junior College after his freshman season. Now, with the addition of Adams, Boyle has now signed 4 talented players to the 2011-2012 recruiting class. Each player brings a different set of skills to the program, and Coach Boyle hopes that they can make an easy transition to the next level.
Damian Kane from Harvard Westlake High School. Damian is a terrific low post player, but can also step out on the perimeter and shoot the ball. He's a great passer for his position, and he's a guy that just understands how to play the game. He's a little bit undersized to play inside, but he's a guy that's very skilled with the ball, and that's what we like about Damian. Spencer Dinwiddie, you mentioned from Taft High School, 6'4" point guard, but can really score the ball as well. He can pass, he can dribble, he can shoot. I think Spencer can be a special player in the Pac-12. I think he's an all-conference caliber type talent. And then Askia Booker is a guy from Price High School in Los Angeles, and Askia is the ultimate gym rat. He's a guy who, you talk about this new practice facility, my guess is he's going to be in there all the time. He's going to be wearing it out, and he can't get enough. All 3 of these guys have a chance to come in and I think have an impact on our program. You never know with freshmen how quickly they're going to acclimate and the barriers they're going to have to overcome. But we're excited about all 3 of them.
Women's basketball coach Linda Lappy announced the resignation of assistant Jonah Pointer last Friday night. She plans on returning to Texas, where she will spend more time with her family and work with the Hoop 10 Girls Club basketball program that she founded. At CU, Pointer helped guide the Buffs to an 18-16 record in a quarterfinal appearance in this past season in the women's NIT. Pointer says that she leaves with only good thoughts and is proud to have been an integral part of the program.
Have you come up with the answer to this week's trivia question? We'll reveal the answer after the break.
And we say goodbye to a proud member of the CU SportsMat crew. Stay tuned.
Can you pass the salt, Dad? Salt is to pepper as gregarious is to... Oh, no, not more SAT questions.
In ancient Rome, salt was a form of currency. True or false?
False.
True.
Son, can you locate sodium?
Or chloride?
There are tons of ways to help with your kids' learning. Find the really good ones on connectforkids.org.
You have 3.5 grams of salt and a 5-gram slug. What's the rate of shrivel?
In America, you are not required to offer food to the hungry or shelter to the homeless. There is no ordinance forcing you to visit the lonely. In fact, nowhere in the Constitution does it say you have to provide anything for anybody. Thank you for all you've given. Imagine what more could do.
Let's sit down for a second, okay? So
Hey, Kayla, there's Mary from your class.
Hi, Mary. Hi, Kayla. Come and play.
Oh, sweetie. Why don't you go play with those kids over there?
Why?
Imagine the power of one voice. Find yours at freedomcenter.org.
The CU women's tennis team's losing streak is now at 11 matches. The Buffs dropped a pair of contests last weekend in the Sunflower State, your home state of Jacob, falling to both the Kansas State Wildcats and the Kansas Jayhawks. K-State handed CU a 7-0 defeat on Friday before the Buffs fell 6-1 on Sunday to Kansas. Wynn Jansen's picked up the lone win for Colorado against KU as she defeated Aaron Wilbert in a 3-set comeback thriller in number 4 singles. The Buffs will play their final Big 12 Conference home games this week as they'll host Texas Tech on Friday and number 7 Baylor on Sunday.
Now, with his undergraduate studies behind him, University of Georgia wide receiver Logan Gray has decided he'll call Boulder home next fall. Gray will graduate this spring and will be eligible to play right away without having to sit out a year because he's moving to a school that offers a postgraduate degree program not available in Athens. Last season, Gray had 9 receptions and for 105 yards and a single touchdown. He will provide some much more needed depth behind the standout receivers Paul Richardson and Tony Clemens, heading into CU's inaugural Pac-12 season.
CU's Fly Fishing Club is spearheading a Boulder Creek cleanup effort on Saturday, April 23rd. The team has invited anyone who is interested in joining the effort, which will run from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. Following the cleanup, inexperienced anglers can get some pointers from the team as the group will head out for an afternoon fishing session. Later in the day, a barbecue will be held back in town to thank all the volunteers who helped out.
The women's track and field team now ranks 17th nationally after a successful meet at the CU Invite. Camille Logan recorded the fifth fastest 1,500-meter run in the NCAA, and Jessica Pixel also won the 800-meter race. Along with Logan and Pixel, 3 other CU athletes are ranked in the top 50. The Buffs will try to advance again this weekend when they compete in the 3 different invitationals.
I know you've been waiting all show for the answer to this week's trivia question. Before we get to the answer, here's the question just one more time. Who was the last CU women's basketball player to be drafted in the WNBA? The answer? Well, it's Mandy Nightingale. She was selected in the 3rd round of the 2002 draft by the Portland Fire.
Now, my friend Audie Streetman gives us the ski report.
Take it away, Audie.
Thanks, guys. I'm Audie Streetman with this weekend's ski report. We're going to go ahead and take a look at Winter Park. We have some great mild temperatures for your weekend, great skiing. We're going to look at Friday through Sunday. We have temperatures in the mid-40s all the way up to 49 on Saturday and Sunday with a slight chance of rain on Sunday, so make sure you get your skiing in early. Moving on to Copper Mountain, we have some temperatures ranging from 32 degrees on Friday all the way to 45 degrees on Sunday, and a slight chance of snow on Saturday and Sunday as well. Also, at Keystone Resort, we have temperatures 36 degrees on Friday, but it'll warm up to 49 degrees on Saturday and Sunday with a slight chance of rain on Sunday as well. So make sure you get out there early. If you can't make it out to go skiing, there's going to be great temperatures in Boulder as well. This has been this week's ski report.
Well, Jacob, it's that time of the show. And for your last show, I was thinking how to describe one of the best sports magazines of all time. I just couldn't. Words just can't describe what you mean to the show. So we have to say goodbye to you and to one of our most cheerful sports magazines of all time. You are amazing. Let's see what other people have to say.
Hello guys, Jacob Elliott here, and here's what's happening in your neck of the woods for this edition of CU Sports Mag Weather.
I'm going to miss watching you do weather and also talking about American Idol and singing with you on Thursday nights.
Jacob, your passion for journalism and storytelling just astounds me. I know you're going to do well at the next level because this is what you love to do.
Tad Boyle, who's been a beacon of hope throughout the season, can best summarize this in a quote. I expect our players to go to bed, wake up, go to class tomorrow, and come to the gym ready to figure out how we are going to beat K-State. We cannot and will not feel sorry for ourselves.
Jacob, I just want to thank you for being so positive all the time and just keeping the spirits up here at Sports Mag. You did a great job and always a character to be around.
It's ski season.
And wherever you go, I know you have a career in broadcast. Good luck to you, and go Buffs, and Kansas sucks. Really, Jayhawks, boo.
And so I have some advice for you. Bike, hike, go to a Flatiron and enjoy a picnic, or swim in Boulder Creek. For all I matter.
Right, Jacob, you've been a real great friend this year. You're always really have such a great attitude about everything, and I really appreciate all the advice you've given me.
Alec Burks. Geez, he played Russian roulette with the basketball and with the NIT tournament.
Jacob, I really appreciate all the passion and drive you bring to Sports Mag every week. You definitely have the most enthusiasm, and you have the most desire to get better.
However, that's all the time that we have today. On behalf of Derek Kessinger, my name is Jacob Elliott. Let's send it back to the desk. Thank you, everyone. I really, really appreciate all the words. It's been wonderful to have you guys all tune in to everybody, and I want to thank especially my folks, everybody in Kansas, and everybody at CU. Thank you so much, everyone. You've been I will remember this for the rest of my life. And for the last time, I'm Jacob Eliashar. Have a great weekend, everybody.